Okay, here we are. I did my level best at getting ready by 3:30 or by 1:30, and that didn't work. So I'm ready as soon as I can be. How about that? Computer didn't like to get going. My microscope camera once in a while doesn't work, and so I have to make it work. Beat it with a hammer. Force it. Do whatever it takes. Okay, this was once a bank wrap roll, I can see, and it was taken out and put in a tube by somebody who knows how long ago. It does appear to be an original roll from the appearance of the coins. So let's go ahead and get started with this one. Carl Ignatz will pick up coin number 1 in this roll. Let's see what coin number 1 is. We have a minor RPM, an RPM with a split lower serif. How about if I put that in focus? Make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. Split lower serif going on there. So coin number 1 does have a die variety. Let's see what the reverse has. Reverses on 1955 Denver are not well known for having any die varieties. In fact, reverses on 1955 are pretty much blank. There is a Class 6 double die reverse for the 1955 Philadelphia. There's a bunch of nice double dies and triple dies for the 1955 Proof. Bill Crescent comes up next. I'm sure there's at least a couple of other minor double die reverses that I'm unaware of at present because I don't really think about them that often. And we do have a chance of perhaps finding one here. Perhaps. You never say never, right? Wow, look at that. Massive die break. Right there on the head. That one is one nasty cracked skull. Right there. That one's going to Bill Crescent. Let's take a look at the reverse on this one real quick. Let's see what we see, if there's anything on the reverse. Die crack across bottom. Let me see. Not on this coin. We're talking about the one that you got. Let me check it out real quick. It's coin number 1 again. Yeah, there is a die crack across the vest, or across the coat. Right across the coat and the shoulder area. Get it straightened up so that I can show you. There you go. That's on Carl's coin number 1. Nice, nice. All right. So that's going to be our marker for that RPM, actually. Coin number 2 turned out to be a nothing coin. Just a 1955 D Lincoln cent. Here's for Randy. Randy, coin number 3. Coin number 3, we have another minor doubled mint mark. You can see it right there. The upper serif and the lower serif, both serifs, have a little bit of doubling. So we're going to be able to use this one to find markers for further examples of this particular die because it is an RPM. If anything on the eye, nothing really on Liberty. Okay, that looks just like Carl's coin. Die crack across the coat and lapel area. So we've got double split serifs on this, closer to the 5 than to the 9. So let me check Carl's coin again. Well, it is double split serifs on the 5 and the 9. Guess what? We've got the same die popping out again. That's the same die. Okay. So this coin number 3 is the same as coin number 1. So get ourselves established here. And this is what brought my attention to that, is that we have a faded die crack fading out to the left, and it curves like a backwards J along the lapel line, and has a double split serif, split upper, split lower. So this one's for Randy. So its coins numbered 1 and 3 are both the same RPM. Solo Smoke picks up the next coin. What does Solo Smoke get in here? Well, looks like it might be the same thing again. It is. Same thing again, same die again. So we have now 3 examples of this die within this roll. Check the reverse on this one just to make sure that we haven't missed anything on the previous coins that we've picked of this die. There's a little die chip on the outside edge of the upper left wheat stalk that I did see on coin number 1. And so coin number 3, I didn't check the reverse, but this is coin number 4, and it has the same reverse. So let's go on to coin number 5. Go Wi-Fi. What does Go Wi-Fi get but another example of the same die again? It's a little spotty, but it's definitely one of that same RPM again. And we can prove that with our little die chip on the outside edge of the upper left wheat. Nice, nice. Move on to coin number 6. Got Deanne. Deanne will get another example of an RPM. This isn't the same one, though. This one has a much larger split on the upper serif, and the lower serif actually has a little bit of a separation line running across the bottom. Let's see. This die I may have seen before. You have a die dot to the southwest of the D, below and to the left of the D. You've got Larry's fingerprint on here. Nobody ever said these were the prettiest coins ever, but they do seem to be producing a decent number of die varieties for sure. Let's see. I don't see anything else for markers, just that dot below the D, but I think that's going to survive. And we can move on to number 7 now. Number 7 is going to go to Eric Beyer. And Eric Beyer will get... Oh, that one looks normal. See nothing for a die variety on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse. It's the first time I've seen this die. Today, anyway. Okay, got nothing on the reverse on this. We're going to remember this one because it has a thinner D that is very close to the 5. A couple of little die scratches at the bottom of the, actually between the 1 and the 9. So we can use that as a marker to know that we've already seen this die. I hate it when I end up with technical glitches. It makes me look late. Well, not really much I could do about it, unfortunately. Here's another one, same die. Exact same die as the last one for Eric. This one is Farm Dogs. We've got a big die scratch, or, yeah, big warbling die scratch coming off the left side of the W in we. These coins are very nice coins. For the most part. They're not high grade, but they're pretty nice. Here's coin number 9, Adam Chambers. That one is a double split serif, and it is a different one. This one has a die crack over VDB. This one is a nicer double split serif than the last one. It has some clash marks above the 1. A lot of issues going on with the head. Big leaf-shaped die chip, or a die crack, pre-chip die crack is what I call that, on top of the head above the ear. Let's see what we have on the reverse on this one. A little apprehensive to just skip the reverses on 55D. I actually think there is a chance there could be something that we could find. Although known is not necessarily something I would use. Number 10, Deanne. Deanne will get same die as Eric's coin earlier. So it's going to be another nothing. Unfortunately. Midnight Silver Run. How you doing, buddy? Just now looking at the camera again. Or looking at the chat. Looking off the camera. That one was for Deanne. That was another normal coin. So we're going to pop number 11. Number 11 is for Jeff Dunn. Jeff Dunn gets coin number 11 here. And what are you, number 11? You're the same thing as Eric's coin earlier. You've got that D mint mark that's a little thin and it's high and toward the 5. And we're going to have a die chip in the upper left wheat and a die scratch coming out of the W of we. The die chip is probably next to the upper part of the C. Lower part of the C. Okay. I remembered it was there. I just didn't remember exactly where it was located. Got a couple of really small stray marks, like a few north-south die scratches. There's an angled die scratch next to the A of America, the last A. There's a couple of little die dots between the U and the S of pluribus. Just a bunch of little markers all over the place just to show us that we have yet another example of a normal die that we've picked up out of this roll. Now coin number 12. Coin number 12 for Eric. Well, we did pick up a different die. It's a different 1955 D die. I haven't seen this one yet, so we'll look at it more carefully. Big long die scratch coming out of the nose. I haven't seen this one because the position of the D and the fact that there are east and west die scratches that are kind of old around the D tells me that I haven't seen it before. I had a pretty decent memory when it comes to seeing this stuff. And I see it over and over again. It kind of sinks in a little bit. Mike Birchman now. Mike Birchman picks up a, well, should be the one with the J-shaped die scratch, or die crack. There it is. J-shaped die crack at the bottom of the lapel. It goes across the shoulder and fades out. This is die number 1 for the roll again. So that one goes to Mike. Mr. Birchman will enjoy this one, I'm sure, because we're going to get a die number for him on that. Okay, Randy. Here's yours. Let's see what you get. And, oh, it's one of the nicer ones with a little dot. This is die 2 for this roll. It is a nice little RPM. I like it. This is the one that has separation on the bottom. You can see it right there. You've got a split on the top, separation on the bottom. Good morning, Mr. Minter. Nothing on the reverse on this one, as kind of expected. Don't generally see double die reverses on 1955 S or D. The plain has a few nice ones. At least one real nice one. Very strong class 6. I think we found one of those the other day. Playing around in a roll, doing a roll dig. I think I found a 55 plain double die reverse. It might have been a D. Here's another one with the J-shaped die scratch. Or die crack, I mean. The J shape is right here. It's a reverse J shape. And then this kind of comes out and then just kind of wanders into oblivion. But that one's going to have the double split serif RPMs, the split upper and split lower. It's not really in focus all that well. There we go. You can see the upper and the lower. If I do this, you can see that lower pretty well. And then if I do this, you'll be able to see the upper pretty well. Maybe not. But that's too low for my fingers, so I have to move it up a little bit so I can get my fingers in there. And we're showing basically nothing else on this particular coin, so let's go ahead and get it marked as, this is for Yo Man, marked as die number 1 for the roll. There we go. And moving on, we have Deanne next. Deanne will get, well, this is, I'm going to call this Eric's die because Eric got the first coin that was of this die. It's a thinner D that's farther to the east than most, and it's farther north than most. As die scratches between the 1 and the 9, it's going to have a curly die scratch coming out of the left side of the W, and it's going to have that die chip across from the bottom of the C of cent. Little tiny things between the U and the S of pluribus. This coin doesn't have that. So maybe that was a coin thing. That's another important thing, folks. Sometimes you're going to get things that appear on a coin that look like they may be die markers. Don't necessarily assume that is a die marker, especially on the zinc cents, because the zinc cents, you can often get little tiny pockets of grease or air or something underneath the copper plating, and it looks like a little die bump. Then you start looking real hard. This is another one of the die number 1 for the roll. Then you get to looking really hard and you find other coins of the same die that don't have that same marker. You can't use that as a marker. If you find 2 coins inside of one BU roll, one of them has a marker and you want to use that marker to find others, and you find another one that has the same doubling, yet that marker doesn't exist, you are probably looking at a coin hit. You could be looking at a brand new marker, although that's unlikely. But you're more likely looking at something that happened to the coin either during or after minting. Here's one for Marshall. And he gets one of the normal dies too. This one is a normal coin. Already seen this die. Know it well. For this particular roll, though, pretty much every time I move from one roll to another, I kind of tend to just drop the markers that were in that roll, unless it's from a family from the same roll source. So if I get, like 5 rolls from the same source and I start finding stuff in one, I open another roll and I have the same basic markers, well, then I'm going to start looking for that same stuff again. Okay, this one is a double split serif. This one has a die dent out in front of the chin in the field. This one is not the same. This is die number 3 here, die 3 for the roll. It's got that crack over the VDB. It's got a double split serif, and now we can add to it that we have a die dent, which makes a raised area in the field of the coin in front of the chin. A die dent often caused by some sort of tooling. There's the leaf-shaped die crack chip, pre-chip die crack in the hair. You can also see part of the C of cent nearing the tail of the Y of the Liberty in a clash. So this one's for Solo Smoke. Solo Smoke's going to get one of the RPMs from this roll. In fact, I think this is his second RPM for this roll. Yes, it is. Second RPM for this roll. He gets die 1 for the roll and die 3 for the roll. And perhaps there's a chance that one of these or both could be new dies, and perhaps he may have the nicest example from the roll, which would mean, well, we would be using his photo for the plate coin. Plate coin's kind of an interesting thing. Plate coin is actually the coin chosen to be used for a publication, for the photography in a publication. That's important because you actually have the piece that was used as the reference for everyone else in the world to identify their coins. You have the exact scratches. You have the exact bag marks. You have the exact everything pretty much, because it is your coin that was photographed. That can add value to certain collectors. It can add value online on eBay or other auction websites. It also adds a little bit of prestige to your collection because part of your collection was actually used in the publication of a major guide. Here's coin number 23 now, going back to Eric. And we're back to Eric's die. So Eric gets in one of his own. All right. Nothing there. Coin number 24 now. Mac McBride. And Mr. McBride will get. That's one of Eric's die. So we have a nothing again. Number 25 goes back to Carl. And this is going to be, that's die number 3. You can see through the fingerprint the raised area in the die, or the raised area on the field, which will be a sunken area on the die. And you're going to have the die crack over VDB on this one. So this is die number 3 for the roll. Your leaf-shaped die crack up here in the upper hair. That's for Carl. Now, coin number 26 goes back to Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride will receive this coin, which is, all appearances say it's going to be a normal one. Okay, appears normal to me. Now number 27, Coin Hunter. That's going to be a die number 2 for the roll. This one's going to have, what was the other marker for this one? I can't remember now. I'll find it. When I find it, I'll let you know. I'm so good at this. I get, oh yeah, that had the die dot down below and to the left of the D. So this is die number 2 for the roll. I knew it was, I just couldn't remember what my marker was for it. .007X Rico. You'd have to be at the auctions on Tuesday evening to purchase spots for this particular show. I sell the spots generally within a few seconds on the show, the shotgun start. Next coin here from Malcolm. It's going to get one of Eric's dies, so it's not going to be anything. And yes, you do need to be registered with us before you get into these spots because I have to know how to bill you. And Jeff Dunn just gave you the information for that. Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Crescent gets a die 2. That's a die 2. You can see the little pickle mark right here. This is what I'm talking about. This little mark right here. And then the fact that you have an inside doubling right here are my 2 little telltale signs that you've got the die number 2 for the roll. And I welcome you to the show. I'm going to call you Rico. Or would you rather be called Bond? Rico Bond. I'd like a martini, stirred, not shaken. Mr. Fletcher. What does Mr. Fletcher get? He gets a normal coin. It's an unfortunate thing sometimes, but it does happen. That's coin number 30, now 31. 31 goes back to Randy. Randy, good luck, sir. And, drum roll, please. Randy picks up a normal coin. Yeah, normal coin. Sorry, buddy. Let's take a look at the other side here. See if there's anything salvageable for Randy out of this coin. So sorry, Randy. I squeezed it all I could and I couldn't get any blood out of it. Stonecutter, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know you have at least one spot in this because you bought them on subscription. I think that is what you had. Rico is fine. Not Rico Bond. All right. Welcome to the family, Rico. Mike Birchman up next. And Mike gets an Eric's die. I just call it Eric's die because Eric was the first one to receive one of these. And it's not a die variety, unfortunately. Timothy Murphy. Is that right, Timothy? Tim? Thomas. Well, I can't remember what his first name was now. Mr. Murphy. Brand new customer. Let's see what we get for him. Well, we are going to get an RPM. This is going to be RPM number 1 for the die, for the roll. This one's a slightly better struck example than some of the others that I've seen. Nice backwards J shape to the die crack, on the lower lapel, and it goes almost clean across the shoulder. Actually, a quite nice looking coin. Strike and everything. Let's see what we have on the reverse on this one. I come up with a couple of decent markers on the reverse anyway. We've got that one die chip on the left wheat. And do we have the little thing between the U and the S of pluribus? Absolutely not. So, not a good marker to use. But this is die number 1 for the roll. It is an RPM. Now we're going on to Lucy, coin number 35. And we have another Eric's die. Nothing there, unfortunately. I have notification that my wife is coming home from Atlanta at this time, and so I may be a little bit abbreviated on my next reveal. Need to be ready to go shopping with her when she gets home. I will get the rest of the invoices out today. They will go out today. This is another Eric's die. Now number 37, Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride picks up die 2. Nice one. Die 2 for the roll. Die 2 for the roll is the one that's got that pickle mark down to the lower left, of the D mint mark. So this one will go on the stack with the rest of the number 2 coins. Jim Fletcher up next. Let's see if we can get something for Jim Fletcher. He's been running a dry streak here. Well, unfortunately, the dry streak does not end with this coin. Unfortunately. One of our nothing dies. Throw that one off into Holda for him. Stonecutter. There you go, Stonecutter. Here's yours. And it's an Eric die. It's not going to be anything. Unfortunately, this one's going to be a normal coin. It is a pretty decent looking coin, though. It's a 65. So got yourself a nice grade. Nice bright red Gem BU coin. Now coin number 40. Number 40 goes to Marshall. And Mr. Marshall will get, this is a die 1. Got that long J-shaped, reverse J-shaped die crack. Nice, nice. Die 1 for the roll. Coin number 41 now to Thomas. And Thomas is going to pick up, well, it's going to be another normal one, but this is the one that's got the massive die break on the head. It's only the second one of those I've seen in this roll. Second or third. Not many of them, I know that. You're very welcome, Stonecutter. And here's Malcolm. Malcolm gets a die 1. This is a die 1 for the roll. It's got that same die crack. And it's going to have a little crack on the head. Little one above the ear. It is going to have, what else? Oh yeah, that die chip over on the right hand side of the left wheat. Or on the left hand side of the left wheat. Left. It's got a die chip on the T. Got plenty of markers to use on this. That'll be coin number 42. Now coin number 43 is going to go to Adam Chambers. Mr. Chambers will get, this looks like this was the end roll coin on the other end. It's going to be a die number 2, I do believe. I think this is die 2. No, maybe not. This one appears it could be a new die for us. New die for the roll. It's an earlier die state than the number 2s that we've got, plus it doesn't have the little pickle mark below the D. It isn't doubled quite in the same way, but it is doubled. Doubled mint mark. Yeah, definitely not the same die we've already seen. So that's a new one for us. Adam gets that. Coin number 43. You know what? The remainder of this roll appears to not be original. They appear to be pour-ins from somewhere else. So we're going to end up with different dies. Bill Cresson. Yeah, this one's kind of ugly. See if we get anything on the reverse on this one. Okay, Bill, I'm going to give you a credit on this one. You can have this coin, but you're going to get a credit. You just let me know when you want to use that credit, and I will apply it to another invoice. That's coin number 44, now 45. 45 to go Wi-Fi. This one's not nearly as bad. It's not from the same original roll, though, so if we get anything on this, it's going to be a stray. Yeah, nothing on that one that I can see. Now number 46. Adam again. See what Adam gets this time. There's a spot on that one. I don't like spots. Spots are not my friend. Alright, Adam, you'll get a credit for this one. This is not an original coin from the roll. I did not notice that the bottom few coins are add-in coins. They're not original. So Adam, you'll get a credit for this one. Just let me know next time that you got a credit for that $3 coin from the 1955 D-roll. Malcolm. Also not one of the original coins from the roll, but this one is in pretty good shape. It does have a fingerprint, and it has a lamination peel. There's a lamination peel over next to Liberty. Let's check the other side to see if there's anything on the other side. And no. Decent coin, anyway. And here's coin number 48 now. 48 goes to Mr. Marshall. And Mr. Marshall will get this. It's the same die as the previous coin. Same die as the previous coin, so it's from a different original roll, or perhaps so. On to number 49. 49 is for Mike Birchman. Mike Birchman gets this coin, which pretty much another normal one. Mike, if you remind me later, I will give you credit for this one. In fact, I'm going to go in and write down these names, because this one's not an original coin from this roll either, and it's not pretty. And the last coin in the roll for Jim Fletcher is an Eric die. So this is the original end roll coin for this particular roll. We just had a few coins tossed in the middle or the bottom part of the roll, where a few coins were pulled out. For what reason, I don't know. But that's it, folks. All 50 done and done. Here's all of our normal coins for this particular roll. I'm going to take my dies and put them in numerical order as I pulled them out of here. Dies numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is what we have. Number 42, number 40, number 34, number 17, number 15, number 13, number 5, number 4, number 3, and number 1. Those are all die number 1. Die number 2 are 37, 29, 27, 14, and 6. Die number 3s are 25, 20, and number 9. And die number 4 is number 43. And one more time, I'll flip through them real quickly and let you see if your name is on these. It's like Solo Smoke cleaned up this time. So did Mr. Murphy. So good thing we've got new people getting good stuff. That's the way I like to see it. All right, folks, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I am probably going to postpone the next reveal till 4 o'clock p.m. So it'll be 4 o'clock p.m. I'll come back to you at the next reveal. I appreciate it, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.